Hello and welcome to YourTown Television. My name is Thomas Hood, and I'm here today with our special guest, Ben Beesley of Keller Williams Real Estate. Ben, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's been
Glad
fun
you
so
could
far.
be here. What I'd like to talk with you about, Ben, with today is the Carmel Chamber of Commerce. You were recently elected president.
Chair of the board.
What's the
of
difference?
which you're on the board, by the way.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, integral
That's true.
part.
I dig up a couple interesting facts I thought was interesting. Is the Carmel Chamber goes back almost all the way to the official founding of Carmel
Absolutely.
in 1960.
But it wasn't called the Chamber.
1922. Carmel Business Association.
Exactly.
Any idea how many businesses were in town in 1922?
Less than there are now.
Fewer art galleries.
Yes, I wasn't here then, so I'm not quite sure, and I haven't.
You were
studied.
very young.
I study history. That was not part of the history I studied. I can tell you about University.
Now, all right. Say there may have been 20 buildings. You go back and look at the old photographs.
Right.
They had a lumber yard. They had a livery. Right.
Yep. Probably a hardware store.
They had a hardware store. They had a blacksmith shop.
They had a dairy.
They had a dairy. And if you've been over to the Carmel Heritage Society building, First Murphy House, they still have the milk stands there where the milk was delivered and put in the little boxes.
I'm assuming there was a bank.
There was a bank, probably a bank, and there was a real estate office, which was
So
Devendorf's right on the main
Yes,
drag.
that's right. He was a realtor.
Yeah, that's how we got the whole thing started. Well, now I understand you've got like 508 members in the chamber.
And growing.
And growing. That's as of January.
Yes.
You've got 55 inns, 53 restaurants, 21 wineries, 65 not-for-profits. And here's the number that really surprised me. Of retail, professional services, and galleries, 244.
Right.
And this is all within a downtown of about 12 square blocks.
Yes and no. I'd say about 80% of them are Carmel by the Sea, but we extend. I mean, the Highlands Inn's been a member since it's opened.
Okay.
So it's not just Carmel by the Sea, although 80% of our businesses and members are.
So what I understand is, obviously, the Carmel Chamber is to foster business and promote relationships in Carmel by the Sea, but with Pebble Beach a few miles away and Laguna Seca, you've got very important relationships that tie into Carmel's business.
Yeah, anybody going to the aquarium that's visiting and staying downtown Monterey, they're going to come to Carmel by the Sea, and we're going to encourage that. Same thing with, if somebody going to Carmel Valley or anywhere in our area, we're encouraging people to come and visit our little hamlet. Mm-hmm. We'd love for them to stay, and that's why we work with the inns really closely to develop programs and encourage them to really kind of see, because the nighttime is much different than the daytime, as you know. You live there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I live there.
Yeah.
I don't go out during the day. Well, I read our mission statement when I came on the board last year, and I'll say a couple of words here again. Promote business, marketing, networking opportunities, and to benefit its members professionally and economically. There's obviously, being in real estate, it's very much about the relationships, as it is in my business as an architect. So there's a social component to this that's obviously very important between the businesses.
Yeah, well, so you
in a non-competitive sense.
You do business with people you enjoy, people you like. You support business so to foster those relationships where people can do business with one another, whether it be insurance, whether it be retail, whether it be restaurants, whether it be architects, real estate. Let's foster those relationships. People do more business with each other. That's kind of it's like a great fraternity. I just made that up.
Women.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a few photographs that I'd like our audience to see here tonight, and we bring these up. Tell me a little bit about these.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's talk about these.
So so we do mixers about once a month, and some of the best mixers we encourage them to do year in and year out. This one happens to be a Quail Lodge. They do a fantastic job. They provide their food. They provide their beverages, adult beverages. If you're a member, membership price about $10. If you're a non-member, $20, and you're going to get a couple glasses of wine, and you're going to be able to network with people that you'll get to know better and want to do business with them.
If you've got at that event, and I remember attending that, it was fantastic. There was food, music, stuff all over the place.
About 150, 170 people.
Okay. Of those, any idea how many chamber members? And are there members of other chambers that come over?
This one we actually partnered with Carmel Valley. Okay. Quail is an integral member of both, so it made sense. We're right in the middle. Generally speaking, they're a smaller chamber, but we'll have, let's say 100, they'll have 50.
Okay, let's take a look at this next image and see what we got here.
Yeah, and I'm looking at there. We've got people from the Herald. We've got people from the Monterey Peninsula Water Management District. We've got hospital. I mean, your community, the Barnyard, everybody's represented right there.
Let's take a look at this next image we got here. So you've got politicians, elected officials, all sorts of things.
So one of the key things that the chamber did years ago, and I don't know how many, but it was about 20, I think, is we were trying to keep people during the major events, specifically AT&T and Concourse, to stay in Carmel. So we realized that the movement is to get the parking out of Pebble Beach over at Monterey Peninsula College, CSUMB. And if you go to park out there, you're not coming to the peninsula. So we created shuttles. This will happen.
The chamber did.
The chamber did, started this. And the Pacific Grove Monterey does it also. I think we were the lead. Let's just say we were. And parked right in front of the plaza. You get to park for free at the Sunset Center or up in Vista del Toro. And you park there all day. You pay $20. You get in. You go to hang out there all day, and you come back. You can stay in Carmel. You can eat in Carmel. You can come back multiple times if you want throughout the day for the same price. And I think it's a great service for the businesses of Carmel by the Sea, and also for the people coming down. It's much better to do that than being parked out in.
As you know, trying to just get in and get close to any of those events.
Right.
You know, unless your name is Clint or Arnold, it's just not going to happen.
And they should use the bus anyways.
Well, it makes
Support
a lot
our
of
chamber.
sense. And this year with the rains and everything else, it made it pretty easy.
But yeah, so specifically, I think we did about 3,000 rides this year just for the AT&T. And remember, one or two of those days were very rainy.
Yeah. Let's take a look at our next image and see what we got.
Oh, you want to tell us about that one?
Yeah, that was a kind of a stupid selfie. Concours every year, right?
Yeah.
Concours
one of the
Ocean
biggest
Avenue.
events from Carmel. It's one of the, by far probably one of the funnest.
Along with the AT&T, the most
Yeah.
famous event worldwide.
Right.
We've got rolling real estate coming from dozens of countries. Well, last year when I joined the board, Monta, our executive director, said, "Well, we've got this little thing. We're going to help sell beer. What do they call it? Beer on Ocean or something like that." She handed me a roll of tickets and placed me at a table in the corner with a smock on. I felt like a hall monitor in grade school. And I walked over and I said, "No one's going to walk all the way across here to say, 'Sir, may I have a beer, please?'" So I asked her if I could just put the tickets around my neck and just kind of work the room, the outdoor room here. I don't know what the sales were, but I did see an uptick in terms of, get the ale, try that. If you don't like it, I'll pay for it.
Because your initiative.
And I was able to, in an hour and a half, I met people from on the peninsula, from Germany, Denmark, Japan, all over the world, and they were just having a great time. And Chamber was part
Well,
of it.
what I love about that event specifically, so the Concourse d'Elegance, the big show is in Pebble Beach on Sunday, and people are paying $250 up to go to that. Well, those same cars do a road rally. They stop in downtown Carmel for 3.5 hours for lunch. And so think, what does that do for retail? What does that do for Carmel by the Sea as far as the shops and, again, a chamber function? We get to promote that. We want people to stay longer, so we're providing a beer garden. Again, we're just trying to foster those relationships. Yeah, you get to see the same cars closer than you would at Pebble Beach, and it's free. Yeah. And so it's really one of the coolest events anywhere in the world to be able to do that.
Let's take a look at this next one. See what we got here.
I'm excited about this.
Okay.
So,
this is a different kind of function.
It is. Well, it is. So we call ribbon cuttings.
Right.
So when members are new to the chamber, they get an opportunity to do a ribbon cutting. Or if they've got an anniversary, a 10-year anniversary or whatever. Okay. And so it's not a mixer. It's free for everybody. And it's not as well attended because but it's very well done. This one, Andres Boucher, was a year ago, and it was fantastic. I think we had about 80 or 90 people there. And then they loved it so much, they did a mixer the following year.
Why should a restaurant want to be in one of your mixers?
Well, first of all, you're going to get 100 to 150 business people who live, work, visit, have influence there. And if you show yourself well, they're going to come back.
So essentially, you're providing an opportunity to market what they do every day.
At Andres Boucher, the mixer that they had this year, we started with ribbon cutting last year. We were helping to promote Valentine's Day, which was a big day for them, as well as they've got a supper club 2 Mondays a month. And
I've heard about that.
I've been twice.
Screaming deal. So
you get 4 courses for $45 or $45, and then if you want to match wine, it's another $20. So $65, you get 4 courses with wine.
Now it's important to say you're not getting paid by Andres Boucher to do this.
Not at all. No,
I
pay full bore.
Your job as head honcho is to keep the mix going, cross-pollinate all these ideas, and get people to get out.
They had the most recent mixer. I'll talk about them. I'll tell you, Tally Ho on the 22nd, they're going to do a big event in the garage. And they're going to transform their garage, but it's also a signature hotel in Carmel, has been around forever.
So it's a good idea for businesses to be in the chamber, to be exposed to that.
I'm talking about it 2 months later, and I'll be talking about it 2 months down the road.
Let's see what else we got here. Okay. Tell me about this.
This is the Awards of Excellence Gala. So
Did anybody show up?
this is pre. It was actually we filled the room. It was about 225 people, and what chamber members get to vote for other chamber members for the best architect, best realtor, best
So this
restaurant.
is like Chambers Oscars?
It is, yeah, and more intimate. But we do get food and wine with this. It's more like the other one, Golden Globes. And what was really neat about this is I think 2013, I was elected by my fellow chamber members as the best real estate company. Team Beesley, not Coldwaker, not Keller Williams. I was because of my networking and how I interacted.
Well, that's what I'm looking at here. Best Realtor in Monterey County by the readers of the weekly. Most Inspirational Realtor in Keller Williams, Northern California. Professional Business of the Year. Best Real Estate Company in 2016, last year. 2013, Best Real Estate Brokerage, Carmel Chamber of Commerce. You wrote this, so I assume it's truthful.
It's on my website too. No, it has nothing to do with selling real estate. It's I think it's treating other people the way they want to be treated.
Well, you put the time in, and you get the results back in promoting other businesses, promoting your own brand, and helping local businesses connect with other locals.
We did have people attend, and this was Business of the Year. Bruno's Market won Business of the Year, and so
Ryan and Furman Sanchez there.
Exactly, and so they won the big award, and it was a fantastic night, standing ovation for them. Talk about business recognition. That's fantastic.
I did attend that. I sat at the back of the room. Did not get any awards, but enjoyed the meal. And what was really fun is the event starts at 5:30, and at 5:29 people are walking in the door.
Right.
It's not like, well, we got to go to this chamber thing. It was like people were on it immediately, and at the end there were people dancing to the band afterwards.
Yeah.
It was
No,
fun.
we like having fun.
Yeah. I think we got a couple more.
Oh, visitor center.
Yeah, tell us about this. You recently relocated the whole.
Yeah, we used to be above. We were part of in the Eastwood building, right above Hog's Breath, and we had an opportunity to move to the Carmel Plaza. So the visitor center took over their concierge area, and then we've got our offices up on the 3rd floor. What's interesting to know about this tiny visitor center that's manned entirely by volunteers, they had, and I've got the numbers here, 31,000 visitors last year. 31,000 visitors go and talk and say, where do I get to eat? Where do I get to go? What should I do?
That's almost the population of the entire city of Monterey.
You're right. And 10 times the population of Carmel.
That's right.
And then 6,200 phone calls of where do I stay? Where do I go? What do I need to do when I'm there? They booked 300 room nights, again, volunteers. And this is fun. I would say 7 years ago, there were maybe 3 or 4 wine tasting rooms in Carmel. Right now, there's 21, you said, or something like that. And X number, I want to say 14, 13 are part of the wine walk. We sold 2,250 wine walk passports. So these are people coming to Carmel, they stay in Carmel, they're drinking, and they can use that passport anytime. They can use 2 of them today and come back in 3 months and do 4 of them then. And it's just, it's changed kind of the demographic. We're getting a younger population.
That's shifting dramatically.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that in my business as an architect. You've got to be seeing it in real estate sales as
Completely,
well.
yeah. Well, I mean, so let's talk about that just for a second.
Yeah.
That was a chamber initiative to create the wine walk and work with the wineries to help market and get the demographic to help people come down here. And it's now just taken off. It's blown up. It's fantastic.
Okay. We've got a tiny town with a relatively tiny city government. How does the chamber's relationship work with the city? Is it a partnership? How does that work?
I think they're a strategic partner of ours, and we're a strategic partner of theirs.
What does that mean?
Well, they do fund us. One of the things that they've asked us to do with the funding that they've given us this year is to help enhance their buy local program, which is one of the reasons why I mentioned it now. I put it in the pine cone, and as a board member, we're going to be working on that together to see what else we can do. They really want us to do better welcoming new business owners. So we've got a whole packet we're working with the city on to make sure that they know what are the sign ordinances? What can you do? What can you do? What works really well? What doesn't work really well? So as a chamber, we're now becoming the voice for that. They've also asked us to, on our website, to post all the vacancies for businesses. So if somebody's looking and say, I want to move to Carmel, I want to open up a business, where do I go? Well, they could call a major commercial agency, or they can go on online and say, okay, what was a restaurant? What can I do? So we're helping create that right now.
So I'm hearing a couple of things. One is a moment ago you were talking about buying local. Okay.
Yeah.
As we all know, particularly in the food industry, the move from, as we were kids, the beans in the can.
Right.
In the Midwest, that's Del Monte can,
Right.
which came from Monterey, is where we have noted local chefs sustainable practices in their restaurants, growing locally, farming locally. It's a nationwide movement. What you're really saying is the chamber is encouraging that same side as an aid to business.
Right, and we're encouraging people locally to support our local businesers.
So
it's not
it
not
goes
just a
hand in
visitors.
hand
Yes, we're not.
with
We
private
can't
enterprise.
rely. I mean, I was in downtown last night. You were in downtown last night. There wasn't. We're on a Monday in March. It's not packed. So there's a great.
It was at
opportunity.
Mulligan's.
Thank
There
you.
must have been 60 people there. Glad
but-
that Monday's over.
But it's a great opportunity for us to come in and really thank these businesses because they're the reason why a lot of things happen, and just also have a great time.
When I was a kid growing up in Winnetka outside of Chicago, there was a little tiny plaque, and it said Winnetka Chamber of Commerce, and this was the classic old style sort of Floyd the barber shop. And I'd sit in the chair and get my Princeton haircut, and I wonder, what is a Chamber of Commerce? I imagined it was some sort of building where cigar-smoking guys would get in a room and talk about, what businesses we're going to promote and things like that. And here it is all these years later, and being a relatively new member to the organization, it really is not only just promoting relationships between businesses, but with Carmel being a destination, it's making it easier for people to come and do business, buy real estate, go to dinner, find a place to stay.
It's all related.
Tours, everything.
Right. It's
so
all
it's
related.
really serving on a volunteer basis. The whole board is voluntary. Not only people that live here, but outsiders as well.
Yeah.
That's a big job.
No, it's a fun, worthwhile job.
Well, just a minute or so we got left.
We've got
What's
one
up
other
for
image,
this year?
by the way.
We got
One
one
more
more
image.
That was a fabulous event that you emceed.
It's my
this year.
favorite event. That's actually how I got involved with the chamber. I went to Taste of Carmel. I said this in the Mission Plaza, which you only get to go to if you're on a Sunday afternoon or after church, and they transform it into the best wineries, the best restaurants, the money band at night. I mean, it's a reasonable $85, I think.
And you've got a couple acres outside the Mission there with all the best chefs and wineries on the peninsula.
And what I love about that, we do great gourmet. In fact, Gourmet Fest is coming up. We do great food and wine events, but this one's the most local. Like this is where people are. I mean, it's a chamber event, so we're here to support our restaurants, and they're there. I mean, I can tell you, Tony Salame's going to be there, Pepe's going to be there.
You got to come and see it to believe it. It's really a gorgeous evening.
First Thursday of October.
So, with a couple seconds we got left, you've got good stuff coming up for the chamber. How do potential member? How do they get in touch with you?
Go online, carmelchamber.org, and it's a brand new website. Go in. How do I get involved? It'll have the events. You can register online for any of the events, including the upcoming
mixers. Can you just walk in at Carmel Plaza?
You can walk into the Carmel Plaza, go to the visitor center, thank them, and then go to the third floor and ask them any questions. They're so customer service friendly. They'll love you.
Thank you for coming on today. You've been watching Your Town with your host Thomas Hood. Thanks again for watching.